tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go! As it turns out, there really isn't that much difference between Apple's A12X and A12Z processor. And if you're looking for more stuff to watch, SlingTV is free every night after 5 p.m. And apparently Apple has released a high-spec, low-cost phone that everyone's wanted for a long time and will likely sell in the millions, as if that's important. All of that tonight and more on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go. And welcome, everyone, to the Mac to the Future Livecast Go, which means it must be Wednesday. And I must not have my voice working the way I want it to. And it must be 8 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. And we must all be here, joined, of course, also with who must be Dave Ginsburg. Hello, must be Dave Ginsburg.
Oh, how's it going, everybody? All I can say is the name of this episode, About Freaking Time.
Yeah.
I only talked about this iPhone for like months. About freaking time.
Yep. And of course, if David is here, you know what that means. This is when you say something.
This is where I talk. Hey, good evening, everybody. Hey, that's me.
Thank you very much.
What's up?
Okay, and much like Dave Ginsburg, I have a slightly new setup for the camera, so it'll actually, I got my lights are like shining right in my face here. That's not necessarily a good thing. So it should look more along the lines of like I'm actually speaking to you instead of constantly looking all over the place. I know, except for when I have to look elsewhere. Yeah. So we're going to get right into it because we've got all kinds of stuff to talk about tonight. I don't know if you heard about this, guys. Apple is providing Maps information to help show patterns in mobility to help with COVID-19 research. And they're not the only ones. Google is also contributing to this. And they've got it, as I understand it, they've got it set up so that most privacy concerns are being dealt with. So it's not giving out, people's exact names and who they are. Basically just saying, okay, well, here's this person here and they're going over here. And if there's a couple of them in there that have identified as having COVID-19, they're able to track where they were and where they've been and all the rest of that. So what do you think?
Yeah, no, it's, I think it's something that it had to be done. It's giving a lot of good information to people. Maps is getting better and better. I think we talked about this last week when they had places that were that are open during the pandemic. So, pretty good stuff.
Warren, what do you think?
Yeah, Apple's doing whatever it needs to do to try to, get the country back going and get the people healthy. And they keep stressing everything's private. So,
well, we'll see. We'll see about that.
We'll see, but we're like right in the middle of the issues. So right now, I think it's either we trust them or we're all gonna be stuck at home for
forever.
Yeah, so
forever.
So do I want Apple and Google knowing a little more about me, or do I want to continue living in this house with my family for another couple of months? So
I went outside today. I was outside. I had to go to work. And I make it sound like, I had to go to work. No, it was like, I had to go to work. Yay. So, and there will be, speaking of which, there will be 2 Guys Daily Drives coming out probably tomorrow.
Wow.
Friday.
So there and back.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Is that what you did?
It's like a 20-minute drive for me to go to work, which is nice.
There was snow on the ground here, so that's how crazy it was with the weather.
That's great. Yeah, I saw you were getting snow.
No, I'm no snow here. I was okay with that. snow in April. We hardly get any snow in like January,
it was
February.
it was just grassy and it melted like by afternoon, but crazy.
No, that was
Yeah,
cool.
but still, it's like snow. Really snow. Okay. I know I was complaining about Facebook earlier, and I have something else to complain about here. Facebook has a kit for connecting to friends, allowing them to send a message, voice, emoji, or location. So more ways for Facebook to send stuff to everyone that you know so that they can keep track of everyone you know, which is basically what it is.
And that's Facebook.
Yeah, it's Facebook. Okay, Google, and I'm getting like this incredible feeling of deja vu. Google readies their own ARM processor for the Pixel. So now the Pixel generally gets really good reviews. It's probably, if I was going to get an Android phone, this would be one of the few that I would consider getting, mostly because it is and you know, I say this with a grain of salt, you're getting the pure Android experience as compared to all of the crap that so many of the manufacturers put on their phones, just to differentiate themselves from all the other companies that put all of their crap on their phones. Now, of course, Apple has had their A series of ARM chips out for years now. They bought that ARM processor design firm. Well, God, what was that? Like 7-8 years ago now?
At least.
Yeah, because I remember the very first one they came out with, I think, was the A4, or at least that's what they were calling it, way back when. And so now Google apparently is seeing the light and thinking that, well, if they want to do anything special with their Android phones, that they need to kind of design their own custom silicon. So I guess that's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as, their path should be a lot easier than Mac, I would think, going that way, because they have either Chrome or Android, and Chrome should, for the most part, once you get Chrome running on it, you know, developers don't matter because there's not really that many. There's no real apps. It's all web-based.
Everything is like what, web and Java based for,
pretty much
for Chrome.
I don't even. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about Java anymore, but it's all web-based, so they're not gonna. You know, developers are probably not even gonna have to do anything on that if that's what they do.
Well, they won't. They certainly won't have to develop it for the x86 platform. You know, you just use whatever, you know, web programmers that you have to do the special sauce that you want for it, and because of course the Google Chrome is using the Chrome, or the Chrome OS is using the Chrome browser. That's the only browser you've really got to set it up for. Right.
It's going to be a lot easier than you know, having developers develop for a new platform, a new chip. So that's easier. I don't know about Android, but you know, it seems like it would be easier than putting a desktop environment on a new chip, to be honest with you.
Now, I don't have this, you know, we kind of went down this rat hole. I don't have this in the show notes, but there was yet another article talking about Apple moving the Mac to the ARM processor in 2021. And I was wondering if any of your opinions had changed on that. Or do you still think they're going to do it, or do you think that's analysts grasping at straws?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it. I just don't see it right now. You know, there's been speculation about the iOS and Mac OS, you know, merging, where they would.
No, I don't see that.
I don't see that happening. I just saw something just today. Actually, I was looking at, they had emulators where you could somebody was running Mac OS 10 Leopard on an iPad. So,
yeah, so that on the iPad.
I mean, so it's just crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah great. You're running an OS that's what
10
8
years
or 9
old?
years old. It's 10 years old. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's great and all, but
They finally got all the
don't know.
bugs worked out.
Yeah. I just don't see it right now. I mean, and now even there was a comment about Intel is shipping record numbers of processors because of COVID and how crazy it's been with the.
Oh yeah,
the need
I mean
for
you've got
computers,
demand for computers is way up. The problem is
Right.
most of the factories that actually make those computers are way down. So
Yeah.
who is still at this point making PCs in mass quantities? I don't know if anyone really has their factories up and running.
I think they're back, but
Yeah. All right, the last thing I have here in quick takes is the iPad Pro Magic Keyboard is available to order today, starting at $299 for the 11-inch model and $349 I think
For the 12.9.
for the 12.9-inch model.
I have it ordered.
as do I.
I have been
Guy?
looking not yet.
Come on, guy.
I've been looking in.
He still needs a Pro.
Yeah, I've been looking in the refurb store because I want the 12.9 inch, and something that we're going to be talking about in just a little bit. I'm looking for a refurb 2018 because I don't think I really need the 2020. But we're going to talk about that.
I wouldn't even. Don't look for a refurb. I mean, you can, but I've seen them.
There's deals for new ones.
There's deals for the 2018 new ones. Yeah.
Yeah, because
but
I
I've
need
seen them pretty
Wi-Fi cellular. I need cellular connectivity.
No, I'm sure they're out there. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Keep
yeah,
looking.
Dave and I will. I think the 24th.
It was April
Mine's shipping.
24th was the ship date.
Yeah, that's my
I had
ship date.
I had a $100 gift card from Apple, so that's what.
And
that's
3%
just in my
back
arm.
if you get it with the Apple Card.
Yeah,
which
and
I
I
did.
had a $100 at Best Buy, so I used it, and I only get 1% back on my Apple cards for the rest of it. So
So I'm getting more back. I get more back.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but he's taking $100 off though.
That's what did I. I had a $100 gift
We
card
both
for
did.
Best Buy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me look here.
No gift cards for Guy.
No gift cards for Guy. It's so
No.
sad. It's a sad Guy day for no gift
So in 3
cards.
weeks, you'll see Dave and I will be doing this conference from our iPads.
And we'll be
we'll see how
like,
it goes.
look, guy,
Hey,
look.
look,
Magic.
it's shiny.
It's
It's
suspense
floating.
in midair.
It's
Look.
floaty. It's all floaty like.
It's. I don't even think I even want. I don't. I have no use for it. I just have to have it. So I don't know.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
I had a gift card to burn, so that's why I got it.
Yeah, same here.
speaking of the new iPad, there's been some stories out. This is a story from MacRumors.com talking about the core differences between the A12X, which was, of course, in the 2018 iPad Pro, and wasn't that also in the iPhone 11, the A12X? I believe it was.
The iPhone 11 has the same processor as the new SE, so whatever's in that SE is the
Okay.
That's
same.
A13.
A13. Okay. And I wonder why they didn't put the A13 in the new iPad. Maybe it wasn't ready in bulk, or they were saving it for the phones.
It's a different type of chip. The X and all that at the end
it's
is a
the-
different.
A13 Bionic.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're different. They're different.
Sounds like a
different
Saturday
things.
morning kids show. So it's the core difference between the A12X and the A12Z. The A12Z ARM processor now shipping in the new iPad Pros are pretty much the same as the ones in the 2018 model, with just another GPU core enabled, according to some reports. While both have multiple cores, the X model has 7 and the Z model has 8. Speculation is that the yield in manufacturing the chips, I cannot talk today, might have been low, so that one of the cores were turned off to improve the yield available for when the 2018 model was released. So, Dave, you look at these things, especially because you're all about the iOS. What's your opinion on that?
I was kind of surprised. I mean, but you know what? I mean, really the only difference is the GPU, but the chips are identical. So that's my motivation. I don't know if I want to upgrade. Tomorrow we're going to have Mr. Barry Falk on our show, and he
And
has
what
an
show is
iPad.
that?
In Touch with iOS, of course, as you see down there, and he he has it, and we'll have some firsthand accounts of what he's noticing with the differences in performance, which I doubt there's much. I mean, other than the AR stuff that they added, there really isn't much difference between those.
Yeah,
two models.
that's a topic for another day. I want to talk about.
Exactly. So, but I mean, I don't see this being a big game changer. Apple just, to me, I think most people have been saying this was kind of an incremental upgrade. It wasn't really much.
Okay, Warren.
Yeah, I mean, so it's got the LiDAR, and it's got a little bit more the memory, and the base models have a bump in storage, but I said this before, eventually this LiDAR thing's going to do cool things. It may be a month from now, and maybe a year from now, and maybe more than that. So eventually, I'm gonna, people are gonna want that because it's gonna be cool. But I assume the next iPhone 12 is gonna probably have the LiDAR as well. In fact, I read it's going to, and I'll get that, and hopefully that will, solve my FOMO for wanting the LiDAR camera in the iPad. So
was having the LiDAR camera like that big of a deal?
It's not now, as I said, but there will be. I mean, there will be something. Something's going to come out at one point, eventually, because it's Apple, and I'm sure they already know what it's going to be, and something's going to be out that's going to say, "Hey, that is just super cool," and I have to have it, and at that point we'll see. But right now, I don't. From what I read, the extra core that's disabled and enabled in this one, you barely even notice. People say they wouldn't even know the difference. Definitely the memory would have mattered. I don't use my iPad that heavy, so for me, I'm good with what I got.
Yeah, I use MyMac all the time.
The LiDAR, I mean, I saw something that coming down the pipe here is someone had their Apple Card, put it in front of the iPad, and it actually showed their balance and all their transactions virtually by just putting the card in front of the camera.
I think that was a concept, though. I don't know if that was.
It's concept. Yeah, it's something that's.
I don't know if that's something I would necessarily want to have enabled.
But
yeah,
if somebody could just take an Apple Card and go, "Hey, let's see what my balance is." I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm sure they're just going to put restrictions on it if it's not your iPad and you can't do it, but that kind of thing.
Again, there's going to be something.
Like I said, that's a whole other topic.
There'll be something that's going to be cool. I mean, things I think about is in a car, and I know that's not going to be with this iPad, but yeah, the augmented reality and things like that, where they're going to actually. This is all augmented reality, so eventually, like if you're driving and you could see things that aren't there that are important, such as like a speed limit sign all the time, or some other things that you might need to see. That's a place that's going to be a cool concept that once that gets going. But right now, it's not there, but there will be one that you'll look back in this and say,
"Why didn't I see that?
Why didn't exactly?" It's going to be that. It's like, why didn't? Yeah. That's so obvious. So obvious of a use for what this thing is, and why didn't we? Why didn't we know this was happening? But they know.
It was weird. I saw another story where they were talking about how this iPad was more of an incremental upgrade as compared to it was evolutionary versus revolutionary, and they were kind of complaining about it. And to me, it's like, well, what really do you expect them to do with an existing product year after year? The things to think about with Apple isn't what are they going to do next with the products they already have out. It's what products are they going to come out with that serve a purpose that we don't even know about yet. Apple is skating to where the puck is going to be as compared to where the puck is. And that's what I guess makes us Apple fanboys and wanting to always, talk about this stuff.
Yeah, most of their iPads are incremental updates. So if you look at every generation, take the Airs from Air 1, Air 2, take the normal the regular 9.7 model, take the iPad Mini, yeah, not until they change to the Pro design, which is a new model. Everything's incremental. I mean, it's just a
Right.
processor bump. I mean, nothing. Screen's a little better, processor bump. So what else could it be, right? Except the only thing that this could have been was a little bit faster with a little better camera. But I don't think people care that much. And certainly, again,
No.
it's a great iPad. There's nothing wrong with it. If I was buying a new one, I'd be very excited to buy this one. If I didn't have one before it,
Right.
if I didn't have
Yeah,
one
well,
before it.
especially if the one you currently have is, 2 to 4 years old or
Sure.
older.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have one and you're ready to go to the Pro, it's a good choice. I mean,
Yeah.
but again, it's not that much of a jump from the last version to this one. So that's actually a good thing. That's it's
Well, it keeps people's investment in older technology relevant,
yeah.
which is something that a lot of other companies don't do. They want you to go out and buy, and I'm sure Apple would love it too. But Apple supports their hardware going forward with their operating systems for typically 4 to 6 OS generations, which is really when you look at planned obsolescence is amazing that any company is doing that these days.
Yeah.
All right.
Tablets and computers are in a different league than phones at this point. Phones.
Yeah.
People tend to upgrade their phones more, much more often than tablets and computers, and that's just because we're on our phone constantly, and that's what we see all the time, and that's once that one time when you're doing something on the phone that something doesn't work or it's not fast enough, that's where
Then you're not happy.
you're not happy. But on a desktop or on a tablet, you're like, I'm only on this thing a couple of times a day. It doesn't bother me so much.
Okay. Next up, if you just don't have enough to watch ever with everyone being home, SlingTV, the blue box, is now free every night from 5 p.m. until midnight. And of course, this is a promotion to get you to sign up for their service. But at the same time, that's a pretty good promotion, especially with everybody being home right now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different content providers are offering free stuff. I mean, I think Epix is offering free stuff if you watch it through Apple TV's app. Stars was offering free stuff. You can get all that stuff too as well. But the nice thing about Sling is it's similar to what YouTube TV does. Is it's got a lot of other offers and services. You got about 50 or so channels. I think some local channels are on there as well, so it'll know where you are. But you're right. It's just like anything else. Free has got to be free without a catch. The good thing is with Sling is the fact that you don't have to give your credit card, because that's the pain. You sign up for a service. Oh yeah, you got to put your credit card in, but we won't charge you until 10 days later. But then you got to remember to go in there to cancel.
Well, and that's what they count on.
And that's what they count on. But whereas Sling, they're being smart. They're getting people out there. They get to see the service, and they're going to get more people to sign up just to check it out, because they don't have to. They don't have to put their credit card in. So I mean,
Yeah, all they need is a name and an email address, and that's it.
Pretty much set up an account, no credit card needed, and away you go. And you get to watch stuff, and which is prime time. Usually, what times? 5 to 10 Eastern time. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, now this is the biggie. It is. Apple officially unveils, and this just happened this afternoon. They unveiled the rumored iPhone 9 with the iPhone SE name, starting at $399, crazy price, with 3 colors up to 256 gigabytes. The standard for $399, what you get one of 3 different colors: black, white, or product red. Product red or project red? Project red.
Project red. No, it's product red.
It's product.
Okay, product red. With
product
some of
red. See,
with some of the proceeds going to COVID-19. You have 3 different storage options: 64 gigs, 128, 256 gigs. Apple Care is at the silly price of $79, which is $50 less than previous models. And of course, not a big surprise, the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus have been discontinued. Now, to me, one of the things that really blew my mind with this phone, and this was something that we talked about way back when, and it has Touch ID, which I nailed that. I said, it's going to have Touch ID. I was right. What I wasn't right about, and you were right, Dave, was you said it was going to have the same chip that's in the iPhone 12, iPhone 11, which is the A13 Bionic, and it does. That was a huge surprise to me. I figured it would be the A11 or the A12. I mean, honestly, other than possibly phone size, or maybe the camera, there is no reason to go out and buy a 10, the 10X, the 10XR, or any of them.
Yeah, those, and which aren't available as far as new. You can't get those from Apple anymore, other than unless they're refurbished.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be crazy to get that. I mean, you can go on Apple's website, which is great, and give you a comparison of all the models. This phone I have here, I keep putting up, this is the 10R. And I seriously considered, hey, maybe I should trade this thing in because I'll get like $300 back on it. But then I look at the specs. It'd be crazy to do that. The comparison differences between these three models, they have the 11, the 10R, and the SE second gen are the ones you compare. Other than the true depth camera, that difference there, the size of the actual phone, and then you have the processor. The 10R has an A12 Bionic chip. Okay, are you going to really notice much difference between that and the A13? I
probably
tend
not.
to doubt it. I tend to doubt it. But everything else, yeah, I mean, it's got the liquid retina versus the retina, and then of course the 11 has the super retina. I mean, are you going to notice much difference? Probably not. If you're looking at the pixel depth of this model, go 1334 by 750 versus 1792 to 828. Okay,
but it's also a
not
smaller
much
screen.
Difference. Much smaller screen. You're going for
you're going for it's a 4.7 inch. Whoop! Dave just froze. Did you freeze too, Warren? Uh-oh. Have we lost? Uh-oh. Are we still going? Are we still live?
Are we still,
I'm
live?
back now. Yeah,
everything froze for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. What happened?
I don't know, but I don't even. Are we back on? Are we still on Facebook?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now where it froze.
Did we freeze?
I was on a roll too.
I got a black screen, like a whole black screen.
No, it was.
Oh, there it goes. It. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So go ahead. We're not going to edit it out, but yeah.
Ghost. That was Ghost.
Ghost in the machine.
So you really have some great capabilities here, and being able to buy the phone from a carrier to SIM free, and the pricing is the same. Awesome. I mean,
yeah.
How could you beat that? You go from 64 gigs at $399 all the way up to 256, which will put you at
$549.
$549. I mean,
that is the most expensive iPhone SE that you can buy, not counting Apple Care.
Exactly. Now, as far as the camera goes, it's the wide angle lens of the lenses that are on, like the
12
Pro.
megapixel camera. It's still a good camera.
Yeah, I mean, Apple's saying this is one of the best lenses you'll ever get in a phone of this level. So, I mean, you just can't beat it. And if somebody was in the market looking for a new phone, highly recommend if you have a 6 or a 6S, you're in that, or even a 7.
It's
or
not
the
even.
8. It's not even close. You should. This is a no-brainer. Even if you trade your old phone in and get a few dollars for it, and you just go on a payment plan, it'll cost you $10 a month, $15 a month, depending on which.
You can use the same
phone you get.
You can use the same case, guy.
This is the plus. This is the plus, so that won't work.
Yeah.
But regardless, you've got, if I traded in my 8 Plus, it would cost me I think $299 for the top of the line model. Hey, Tim.
Yeah, and Tim just said, Tim, how you doing, Tim Robinson? Yeah, he just said he's going to get his daughter Brooke the 256 gig SE, and that's perfect for all the music she wants to be able to store on her iPhone. I mean, how do you beat that? And she's going to be able to store all that music on her phone and not have to deal with the cloud, have everything there on her phone, and she's going to be happy as a clam. I mean, I think this is just probably one of the best deals out there on this phone now. And
this phone is going to be. It won't be barking.
That's Warren's dog.
That's my dog. There's somebody at the door, so the dog's barking. So
but this is going to outsell, I think, every other phone that Apple has out, especially for the up through to the end of the year until the iPhone 12 comes out. Honestly, if you're on any phone under a 10. It's like almost a no-brainer that this is the phone that you should go out and get. I mean, I am perfectly happy with my 8 Plus. I'm not happy with it now. I want to get one of these. And the only thing that's kind of holding me back is the screen size. Because because this is a 5.5 inch screen, I think, the 8 Plus.
That was 5.8 maybe.
I'd have to look it up. But it's a relatively larger screen than what the SE has. So, that's like the only thing that's kind of holding me back. Should I do it or should I not do it? Yeah. So it's a difference of almost an inch as far as the screen size goes.
Right.
And I don't know, I'll definitely have to go into an Apple store eventually and look at it before I drop any bucks on it. But most of the time when I'm out and about and just doing stuff, my phone is plugged into the car, so I'm using CarPlay, so who cares?
Yeah.
But this looks to be a pretty amazing phone. And again, if anyone has anything under a 10, you should be getting out your credit cards right now. I think this is going to be an amazing phone.
No, I agree with you. I think I'm excited to talk more about it. I'm excited to hear when people get it in their hands. I wish the stores were open. I want to go and touch it just to see.
I know.
I mean, granted, I'm 11 Pro Max. I can't. I love my 11 Pro Max, so I wouldn't be. It wouldn't be for me. But there are plenty of people out there that have been hesitant to upgrade their phones, and I think this is a game changer for them. They shouldn't even hesitate.
I would love to get this for my wife, but I can't even get her onto the original SE that I bought for her.
Yeah. Which is probably going to become obsolete now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want something with Touch ID because the face mask thing is driving me nuts, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this has. This still has Touch ID. And I wonder if they're going to start maybe going away from Face ID and back to Touch ID, where it's built into the screen instead of having a separate button.
But then I go in my Apple user group forums we have, and they're all talking about how no one likes Touch ID anymore. Their skin's getting dry. You have other problems with the one of the guys saying one of his clients are saying that he can't use Touch ID. Yeah, there's going to be some people like that, but I think you're right. I mean, Face ID people just don't like it. There's some people just don't like it. So I'm glad you got the options across the lines of the phones, and you can get a 10R and it's got Face ID. If you can get the SE is got the Touch ID instead of Face ID.
Yeah, I haven't owned an iPhone yet with Face ID, so I guess I need to hold off.
Take a little bit.
It's got its issues. I mean, there's definitely times where it doesn't work when you want it to work, and from what
work in the dark.
It works in the dark, but there's just places. I think some places where some people are saying that they were gonna eventually have the finger ID thing under the screen or Face ID both on the same phone, and whatever it sees first is what it's gonna do, and that would be great. So basically, a phone with the Touch ID.
Extra cost though. That's why I say it's going to be extra cost on that. So who knows If Apple's willing to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't typically have to skip on emerging technology.
Well, no, it's just you're going to pay for it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you want a phone like that, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but it also could affect the design, and Apple may not like that. So that's all future speculation. So
Right.
The next iPhone, the iPhone 12, is going to have Face ID for sure. So it's not going to
100%.
this year.
yeah, there's no way that the Touch ID. This is just because it's the lower end model.
Cost.
It's
cost.
Touch ID. Oh yeah, the other thing we didn't even talk about: no headphone jack, because the 8 has a headphone jack. This SE does not, and
Does
the
it have a
SE, the
headphone
old
jack?
SE, yeah.
No, the 8
old
doesn't
SE
have a headphone jack.
I thought the 8. Oh wait, you're right. The 8 didn't have a headphone jack. The SE,
Yeah.
the old SE did.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
And
So
so
that's one
did
thing to be
the
in the-
yeah, because once the 7, I
The
think the
6 and the
7 was
7.
the first one
The 7
that didn't
was the
have
first
a
one, okay.
headphone jack.
Right.
Yeah, the SE came out before the 7, the original one.
right.
The SE.
So yeah,
came out
Okay.
in
that's one
between.
thing. No headphone jack is going to be, not that if you're going from another phone that didn't have the headphone jack, that then it's no big deal to you. 6 and 7 owners, it's gonna change.
Yeah, they're going to sell a lot of these. All right, that is all we have for tonight. So I think we're gonna head on out, and I guess I don't know if the Masked Singer is still on for you, Warren, or is
I
that
gotta
on
remind them of
hiatus?
it. No, it's on. It's on. I gotta do this.
Okay. Well, why don't you why don't you tell everyone how they can get a hold of you there, Mr. Sklar?
I do this show. I do In Touch with iOS with Dave, and I'm on Facebook a lot, and and I'm home. So and
What?
You're
and I'm
working.
home. I work 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day every day. I go out, which is nice, and I get to actually help the people, so that's good.
In a hazmat suit.
Power to the
In
people.
a hazmat suit, yes.
Yay!
I got my gloves. I got my mask. I got my suit. My scrubs. I got everything.
Scaring the crap out of everyone whose room you go into.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well, good, because that's what people wanted these days, is to be scared. What about you, Dave?
Well, intouchwithios.com is the website. That's the podcast I do, and host it with my co-host Warren Sklar there, and got a show recorded for tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about. I think we'll be. If you want to listen, you're definitely going to want to hear more about the iPhone SE. So we'll have a lot to talk about. Also, and our good friend Gary Barry Folk's going to be on too. So he's a big mobility guy. So I'm looking forward to talking to him about all things mobile and the new iPhone. What do you think so far? So check us out there. And then I'm president of the Apple user group in Chicago, Suburban Chicago Apple users. And you can follow me on Twitter at DaveG65.
And actually, there was one other thing. I almost forgot to mention this. Sadly, Mac Stock 2020
Yes.
is not going to happen this year. Mike Potter has decided that there's, with all the uncertainty of everything that's going on, that it just didn't make any sense to try to plan a conference that a lot of people, wouldn't sign up for, because, I mean, who knows what will be going on in July.
Yeah.
So, but there is some news on the horizon in regards to that. Mac Stock 2021 is still on, and not only is it still on, he's adding another day. Not 1 day, not 2 days, but 3 days. So
No reason you can't go more. And
that's right. I got you.
2021,
What is the? I got you for 3 days. 3 days.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday,
was a movie.
Sunday. Yeah, it was Spider-Man. Spider-Man 1, the original one.
wasn't okay.
Yeah. They had
I don't know what I'm doing.
Bonesaw.
I don't know what I'm doing past this quarantine, but I'll let you know.
But it's gonna be fun, and every single Mac Stock I've ever been to has been such a blast, and I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, it is. It is really kind of a bummer, but at the same time, Mike puts a lot of work into putting Mac Stock together, and I understand him not wanting to And it's not even really, I think, about the money as much as it is just not being able to ensure that there was going to be a large audience there. So it's understandable, and it's sad, but it will be coming back in 2021. And the best part is, if you've already bought your ticket, you're not going to see the price increase for 2021. And so the early bird special, I think he's running that through March or April for next year. And then it's going to be at the same price that it was going to be for the 2-day conference. So you'll get like an extra day of Mac stock for free. So yeah, it's insane. Who
knew?
Who knew? So everyone, if you have any interest in going to MacStock, and every single year it's just been so much fun. So check that out. Go to MacStockConference@expo.com for more information. Now,
I'll also add, it's possible we might do something virtual. So stay tuned for that. I can't give.
I hadn't heard anything about that. So we'll see.
I could do that.
Possible.
That I'm allowed to do.
I know you can. Of course you can do that.
Everyone can do that.
But
all right,
I'm virtually there right now.
Don't hold me to it.
If you'd like to get a hold of me, my email address is guy@mymac.com. If you'd like to support some of the crazy things that I do, which is not only the Mac to the Future Go Livecast, there's also Guy's Daily Drive and the MyMac.com podcast that I do with Gazmaz every single weekend. You can help support me by becoming a Patreon, going to patreon.com/MacParrot. You can go and buy me a coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. And of course, there's PayPal, paypal.me /VertShark. No, it's MacParrot. I'm just kidding. Cha-ching. I'm also I have 2 Twitter accounts, good. MacParrot and VertShark. Guys, I think that's it. I think that's going to do it for tonight. So thank you all so very, very much for coming and joining us this evening. We really, really do appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to come and join us here on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Remember, you can see this later on either on Facebook or go over to the YouTubes, look for it under my name, and then like, share, subscribe. It's all you got to do. It's so easy. Like, share, subscribe. Where's my fingers? There they are. All 3 of them. Make sure all 3 are visible. There we go. So that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
And we shall hopefully see y'all next week. I am really blowing the ending of this show. And we will see you next week right here on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go.